Hello, hello, hello. Whoops, clicked the wrong thing. No. Hello, hello, hello. I rebooted my computer, so we should be good. How is everyone today? How is everyone today? Hello, hello. Come in, come in. Join in, join in. It is Thursday, 7 p.m. Well, hi, Miss Social Dev. How are you? Hi, everyone. Trying to fix this. Well, hi, Catherine Keller. Uh-oh, we don't want to talk about weather, bad weather. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Are you talking about the tropical storm? From what I understand is going to be in the Texas area. My goodness. Hi, Big Hemp. How are you? Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Hi, Miss Ortiz. How are you all? Miss Social Dev says she doing fine, girlfriend. That's what's up. Sharon Blake said you're adding silhouette. You already read the title. Yay! Hurricane Harvey. Boy, I just noticed that it's headed to Texas, and I got a little nervous because I have a friend that lives in Houston, and I was like, oh no, I need to send her a message. Howard Hicks, hello from East Moline, Illinois. Nancy Johnson, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Hello, Bonnie Edmondson. You got your mug? Yay! Thank you for ordering a mug. I'm glad you received it. Hi, Vivian Crosby. How are you today? From Holly Springs, MS. And again, I still don't know my states. How pathetic is that? I think did we say Mississippi? Or did we say Missouri? I think MS is Mississippi. I can't remember. Child, between geography and math, it's horrible. But to my credit, there's a whole lot of M states, so you know. I know you got it. I know you didn't order it. Did I say order it? I did say thank you for getting it. My bad. I do know. I remembered because I was like, ooh, I remember signing hers. And Miss Social Deb got yours. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. And Bonnie, you know, today is Mississippi. Okay. Yes. See if I remember that. I'm gonna try and remember that MS is Mississippi. We're gonna chalk that one up. I know. Today has been, you know what? I really need to be wearing the hat. I really do. It was a crazy day. It started out actually really cool, but by midday it started going downhill. And I'm gonna blame my husband. He took me to IHOP and I ate like a little pig and got super stuffed and sleepy, but I plowed through it and just couldn't get it together today. It was crazy. Oh my God, there I go with crazy. Crazy jar. Joni Thurman, hello from Augusta, Georgia. How are you today? Let me check and see how many lovely, lovely people we have in here today that is going to discuss having things added to their business. We have 15 in here thus far today. I am going to silence my phone so that we don't have any interruptions. You are welcome, my darling dearest. I appreciate you for being a happy embroidery winner. Because that was really cool. I appreciate how you chimed in. It was like, happy embroidery. I was like, yes, I'm getting through. Because we want everyone to have happy embroidery. So, how was everyone's day today? Was it lovely? Other than those facing the tropical storm, hopefully you've prepared. Because there's nothing more frustrating than to, you know, have bad weather threatening, you know, your very business and the things that you love. So hopefully everyone in that Texas Gulf Coast area is prepared. Colorado omelet, no, Big Hemp. What I actually had today was my first time having it. I want to say it was like a smokehouse something, where I had the, oh gosh, the sausage and pancakes and hash browns and eggs. It was like embarrassing, and I pigged out on every bit of it. So ashamed. But it was so good. But we don't want to talk about food. And my piggy appetite. But one of the things that came across my plate this morning was a opportunity on Craigslist, actually. And I know not a lot of people deal with Craigslist, but I actually love Craigslist. I've gotten a lot of really cool things from Craigslist, but I keep an eye out on anything dealing with embroidery or crafting. All right. So, hi, Miss Phenomenal Creations. Welcome to the live chat, my dear. From New Jersey, you're up there where you don't have to worry about the tropical storm thus far. However, when I saw an ad and it was for more quilting supplies, and she showed a picture of her garage, and she had like tons and tons of fabric, and a roll on the boat kind of caught my eye. And then in the distance I saw what I thought was towel fabric, or terry cloth. So I said, well, I'll go check this lady out. This was, I think, Monday, and she said the first available appointment she had was Thursday morning. So I went. And hi, Miss Karen's Place for Sewing Alterations. Welcome back. So when I went to the lady's place, she had all this fabric, you know, and she told me that her mom passed away 2 years ago. And her mom was this awesome seamstress. She did a lot of quilting for charity. She did many miniature, well, small child dresses, because she had contemporaries that would travel to Africa, so she would send dresses every time they went. What else did the lady do? She did alterations. She did reupholstery. I mean, like the whole 9 yards is what her mom did before she passed. And she mentioned that all of the equipment and stuff that she had accumulated, she already had sold that. But what she had left over was tons and tons and tons of fabric and tons of quilting squares. So my thing was, I'm standing there in this woman's garage, and I'm looking at all these quilting squares and all this fabric, and I'm like, wow, I would love to be able to quilt. But in reality, when I stop and think about it, I don't have the time, nor the space, nor the energy to really do quilting. I just don't. Even though it's something that I would love to do. And then because I just added on the tea towels, now I did add tea towels to my inventory because I had a lot of fun doing those tea towels with the video that I put out Wednesday. But the quilting, it just kind of took me back, and I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what, you guys, most of you have a business, or you already do some form of embroidery, or for the most part crafting. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. So knowing that a lot of you already do embroidery, what else would you like to add? And Sandra Phillips says she would like to add original design silk screen. Wow. So would that involve heat press? Would it not? Paints? I mean, I'm not familiar with silk screen. So you're looking at adding what other equipment would you have to add in order to do the silk screen? Miss Social Deb states that I quilt, but I find the embroidery kind of takes over. I got to get back to quilting. See, and I tried to quilt. I promise I did. And it didn't go over too well. And eventually I may try it as I get older, and kind of back away from the embroidery. But then too, I went and looked today at like the really big quilting machine at Mary Jo's in Gastonia, and this big huge quilting machine, and I'm like, wow, if I quilted, I would want to add, you know, and I'm like, I just got a 6 needle and here I am looking at a quilting machine, even though I don't really quilt. So that's why I was like, okay, you know what, back up. Let me backpedal a little bit and put things in perspective. And that's what makes me come to you guys. Now I did decide also to start doing the in the hoop projects as well, but that doesn't really take very much more inventory. You know, the only extra inventory that would take would be like in my instance, these zippers. Like I ordered, you know, 2 packs of zippers from Amazon. There was such pretty colors. I mean, I kind of couldn't resist. These are 7-inch zippers. Oh Lord, I didn't even know the bag was open. So these are 7-inch zippers. They're nylon. So I'm gonna have to come up with storage now, additional storage for my zipper collection, because my zipper collection is totally cute. And then this pack is 11 inches, I think. 11 inches. So I'm adding that. Wish I had thought of that earlier today. But again, so the in the hoop pouches as well as tea towels is where I am now. Miss Phenomenal Creation says I do vinyl crafts such as wall decals, shirts, t-shirts, and much more. I thought about doing vinyl, especially since I have a cutting machine. I have the Cricut. I've had the Cricut. Gosh, I've had that Cricut for over a year now, I'm sure. And just really don't use it. I need to get into using it because it just sits. But you already do that. You do embroidery as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Miss Phenomenal Creations. Miss Social Dev says a quilt takes some time to complete. Embroidery can do so many, exactly, so many projects in a short time. Instant gratification. Yes, ma'am, Miss Social Dev. It definitely is, because I'm which is part of the reason why I don't sew clothing. As much as I would love to sew clothing, I think I would rather do clothing over quilting, because there are so many really pretty things that I want, like the dress I showed you guys like years ago, not years ago, months back, the pattern of the dress that I love and really want to be able to sew. And but I'm just, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience, and that's sad. I'm gonna have to get into it. And hi, Miss Linda Miller, and hi, Debbie Kidd. Welcome, you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. So again, what we're talking about now is adding to what you already do. All right. So it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're in here and you're not doing embroidery, but you would like to add embroidery, point it out. But for those of you in here who do embroidery now, is there anything else you would like to add, or something you would love to add, but you're just not really sure? Because there could be somebody else in the room now that already does something that you're interested in adding, and you can find out a little bit more about it. Why not? Miss Catherine Keller says I knit and crochet, and that kind of gets in the way of embroidery, and I'm trying to learn how to digitize. Yes, digitizing, I love to digitize. I love a lot of stuff, but digitizing is really cool, because you're able to dream something or think of something and make it happen with embroidery, and that's really, really cool. I do love to digitize. Not that good at it just yet. I'm still building up and learning all the different things. I've taken a few classes, need to find time to take some more, but digitizing, if you can add that, that's a good one, because you don't have to like physically add anything, like, you know, zippers or anything. It's pretty much just another program that you have to add. And depending upon what program you go with, it could be as inexpensive as $75 with Sew Art, or it can be as expensive as, you know, well, like right now, Wilcom, I am aware, is $1,200, but that's just the basic user version. That's not like the commercial version. From what I understand, there's a commercial version, and I didn't know it. So the commercial version is way more expensive than that, and I didn't know. So that's pretty cool. Crochet and knitting. I crochet. I've tried to knit. My hands, I'm not coordinated enough for knitting. I would love to knit. But those are pretty excellent things. The cool thing about knitting and crochet is you can go out of town. You can sit at the doctor's office. I mean, you can take your stuff with you and finish up a project or an order. Whereas with embroidery, I'm not lugging that machine to my doctor's office while I sit and wait, because my doctor's office does take 2 hours to see you. So that's the cool thing about knitting and crochet. So that's a really good one to add, actually. Miss Phenomenal Creation says, yes, just really getting into embroidery and have kind of put my vinyl on the back burner. I thought you did embroidery. So another good point about vinyl is it complements embroidery, which is really neat. As a matter of fact, the vinyl that you use for the heat press, the really pretty iridescent ones, you actually can use with embroidery for like applique. I've seen it happen. Matter of fact, I saw it today. I wish I had took a picture of it so that I could show you guys, but I didn't. There is an embroiderer who created a fish, and the scales of the fish was the iridescent vinyl, and it was the iron-on kind of vinyl, and it was adorable. It was actually really pretty. So I'm gonna have to try and remember to get a picture and show you guys that. Bonnie Edmondson says, I am more of a quilter, but I want to embroider more and use it in my quilt squares. A lot of quilters would like to do embroidery for that reason, to personalize more the quilting. That was another thing that the lady said that her mom did. She quilted, but she also did some embroidery, and she put Sunbonnet Sue on a blanket, all over a blanket for her daughter. So yes, in instances like that, it is awesome to make a custom blanket with a quilt. So that's really cool. Tony Walton says, hi, would you share with people like me that doesn't know how to use a Cricut? Miss Tony Walton, I don't really know how to use I don't really know how to use my Cricut either, which is sad. I kind of fumble with it, which is why I've been hesitant to, for those of you in here who have been waiting so patiently on the bib and burp cloth patterns, but mostly the bib patterns, I have toyed with the idea of doing them on the Cricut to make the plastic patterns to ship out. But the thing is, I'm not that good at using my Cricut. Well, I probably could do really decent, but I'm hesitant because it's a bit of a learning curve. So I need to do better in learning how to use my Cricut, because I kind of, now that I'm looking at doing in the hoop projects, I would love to be able to use my Cricut machine to pre-cut some of the fabric that's needed, or like the snap tab key fobs and things of that magnitude. But Miss Tony, no, I'm sorry. I would not be the one to talk to about using the Cricut, unfortunately. But once I get into it, we can share some of my learning curves. I don't mind doing that, but I am not by far able to feel like getting on here and talking about a Cricut machine. Sandra Phillip, yes, lace making. I love freestanding lace. It is so simple and so easy to do. So freestanding lace would be amazing. And there are some patterns out there actually, so for some really pretty lace that you can do on your embroidery machine. Bonnie Edmondson says, I also have the Cricut, and just to let you know that Cricut has just, I know, oh wait a minute, no I didn't. Cricut has just come out with a portable heat press called the Easy Press. It's a good size, and I'm thinking about getting it. I thought you were going to talk about that gold Cricut machine that I saw and started drooling over. I saw that Cricut machine, was like, oh my god, no they did not do that. But I didn't know they had a heat press. Thanks for the heads up. I'll have to look into it. Although I'm just, I'm really not, at one point I wanted a heat press. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. But when I ended up meeting my good friend Justin, who has his own t-shirt heat press, and he does vinyl and t-shirts and stuff as a business, and he graciously offered to let me use that heat press anytime I wanted to. So that kind of like killed the desire to have one, because I knew that there was a really big commercial one at my disposal anytime I wanted to, and that saved me the room, because I'm like in a, I want to say 12 by 15, maybe a little bit bigger room right here in my garage, 20 by 20. So it's like, I really don't have the room for it, especially with all my bands of fabric, child. I'm trying to tell you. Sharon Blake says, I am going away this weekend for a silhouette retreat, Friday to Sunday afternoon. That sounds cool. Have fun. Please have fun. Hopefully they'll have massages as well, and you can get a massage after learning about the silhouette. Miss Phenomenal Creation says, I'm thinking of getting the Easy Press as well. How big is the Easy Press? It sounds interesting. Linda Brown says, hi Eve, driving home from work, would love to get more into digitizing. I also do vinyl and rhinestone. Awesome. A friend of mine does, well, she has a rhinestone machine, and she and I were discussing rhinestone. I think that would be a little bit too much for me. But it sounds appealing, because I do love the glittery and the glam and the pretty sparkly things. So Mary Brooks says, not sure what a heat press. Are you talking about not sure what it is? Heat press is basically a huge double-sided iron, for lack of better words. There's one flat plate on the bottom, it's super hot, and then there's the top plate that's super hot as well. And they put the t-shirt in on that bottom plate, and then they put the vinyl letters or whatever design on top in vinyl that's heat applied, and then they pull the lid down and let it sit for 15-20 seconds or however long seconds it is, and it melts the vinyl to the shirt and applies it, and it adheres it to the shirt, and take it out, and that's it. Kind of how they used to do shirts way back in the day when I was a little girl, and they used to have t-shirt shops at the mall. Every mall had a t-shirt shop. Now that I think about it, and they've gotten away from that. Kind of sad, but that's what a heat press is. Bonnie Edmondson says, Tony Walton, check out YouTube. You can learn all about using your Cricut. Yeah, now granted, yes, there are tons of YouTube videos out there on Cricut. I don't have any one particular person that I would suggest to watch, unfortunately, because when I was watching it, it was a while ago. I mean, like way back when I first got the machine. So since then, I haven't gotten back into it, unfortunately, but I do need to. Debbie Kidd says, I have done embroidery for 18 years and some vinyl, but my embroidery is for companies and large orders. I want to get more into gifts, baskets, and monogramming. Monogramming is amazing, especially if you have a market for it. Monogramming can be easy, because usually people only want one of 3 or 4 different types of monogram, so that's really cool. Gifts and baskets, if I'm not mistaken, you're in the group Embroidery Boss, and if you are, there's a lot of folks doing baskets in there, and they're doing really cool baskets. So they're doing the kitchen set baskets, they're doing baby baskets, they're doing, I saw a beach, no, hers was a pool basket. Going to the swimming pool basket, you could do a beach basket. I mean, there are so many cool ideas for a wedding basket. I've heard of that, not in Embroidery Boss group, but in another group. So yeah, baskets are really neat, but again, with baskets, you pretty much have to keep a certain level of inventory. So whatever your baskets are going to comprise of, you have to have, you know, your baskets, you have to have the stuffing to go in the bottom, you have to have whatever the different items are that you'll be embroidering on. So that's where my dilemma was in trying to maintain inventory and avoid having to do that for me as much as possible. But if you have the space, then definitely gift baskets would be an awesome way to go. Miss Phenomenal Creation says, I have an older model of the Cricut, the Expression, and you can find lots of help on YouTube as well. And I think mine's older too. I want to say I have the Cricut, the opposite of the Cricut Air. It's not the one, I can't remember, but that's another thing that kind of chapped my hide when I was watching YouTube videos. The Cricut videos that I was looking at had two little thingies to put, like one is for the cutting blade housing and the other housing was for your pen, and they had both of them. Mine only has one. So I was like, wait a minute. Do I need to upgrade, you know, the little carriage or something? I don't know. So there are many different kinds of embroidery machines, but most of the YouTube videos, they have two housings for their Cricuts. So Bonnie Edmondson says heat press, so you can attach vinyl to shirts, caps, etc. And it's really cool. It is really cool. Joni Thurman says, I want to get into baskets as well. Very good. We can help each other with all of that. And Sylvia, hi Miss Sylvia in Puerto Rico. She says, God bless you all. Thank you. We all definitely need that in this day and age. Linda Miller says, I crochet, knit, and sew. Sometimes it's hard to carve out time for all of them. Ideas keep popping in my head, and it can be frustrating not to be able to accomplish them all. Yes, that's my problem as well, Miss Linda Miller. I have all the best of intentions with all the most wonderful ideas, and I can't I can't do them all. I just can't. Matter of fact, I had one point thought about getting into clay making. I can't do it. I don't have time. Miss Phenomenal Creation says they also have the new Cricut Make that cuts fabric and patterns. Now, is that the gold one? The really new one with the rolly wheel on it? Because that's the one I was looking at. May get it, may not. I don't know. Bonnie Edmondson, this heat press is very small, looks easy to use. It does not take all of the room that a full-size heat press uses. I think it's like 150. Okay, I think a full-size heat press is 100. No, I'll look into it definitely after the broadcast, because my curiosity is quite piqued. Right now, I'm rearranging, Miss Linda Miller says, right now, I'm rearranging my studio while waiting on the delivery. Oh, congratulations of my first grandson due any day now. I have been overwhelmed lately. Yes, I think all of us have been overwhelmed. I need to rearrange my sewing studio as well. Hi, Miss Forest. Welcome. Welcome. I apologize for taking a bit to acknowledge you. Thank you for joining our live chat tonight. I need to rearrange, and then if you're in the embroidery boss group, and Miss Candia was pointing out the challenge of the desk, your work desk, and I'm like, my whole daggone workspace needs an overhaul because I have stuff everywhere and I have run out of storage or storage bins because I'm in a garage. So I keep everything in bins to make sure that it keeps, you know, dust and dirt and not pets. My dogs don't come in and get into my stuff. Pests and things of that magnitude. I try and keep covered and keep them contained, and all of my containers are like overflowing. So I'm having to rearrange and do better with all of that. I really need an interior decorator. Is that what they call them? I don't think it's the interior decorator. I think it's more an organizer. I need an organizer. That's what I really need. An organizer and an assistant. So we're working on both of those things right now. The bottom of the heat press isn't hot. I did not know that. You taught me something new. I thought they both were hot. Bonnie Edmondson says this heat press is like a square iron, weighs 5 pounds. Oh, that is a little teeny. We'll have to take a look at it. Sandra Phillips says, I have a brother scanning cut and YouTube has a channel just to learn how to use it. That brother scanning cut, I'm hearing a lot of really good things about it. So that may be something really cool to add to your sewing studio or embroidery company, whichever the case may be. Debbie Kid says, yes, you are an embroidery boss. Awesome. I find it hard to get noticed for that. Everyone knows me for companies. I just want to have some fun instead of the same old thing. And that is where I have an advantage with my business because I do so many different things. I do some companies, I do some personal, I still do my baby stuff. More YouTube tutorials and things coming along, but I don't have to do any of it, which is what's really cool. So, I get to have fun for the most part, unless I get overwhelmed and take on a project that I probably shouldn't because it's too much for me. But I don't have to do anything, which is really awesome of my husband. But this is something I've been doing for fun pretty much, and I've gotten hooked on it, and so that's why I put so much into it, because I love doing embroidery. It's not because I have to. I have been looking at the Scan and Cut tool, but can't decide. Do you use it a lot? So that question is for Sandra Phillip. Do you use your Scan and Cut tool a lot? Miss Social Dev says, what websites do you get your designs from? And my favorites. I love designs. You said designs. My top number one always go to design website is embroiderylibrary.com, emblibrary.com. The reason why that is my go-to is because I have yet to get a bad design from them. They have an excellent mix of realistic designs along with cartoonish, kitty designs, very practical designs, and the fact that every Tuesday they have a sale on new designs, as well as a whole subject matter of designs. Like one week it was, Christmas in July, so they had all Christmas designs. Well, not all of them, but a huge selection of designs available for $1.39 each. And that's any size, no matter what size it is, that's what the price would be. So I love to check out their sales every Tuesday. And I definitely recommend Embroidery Library to anybody. A lot of times when a customer is asking for something, and they're not 100% sure what they want, I'll send them to Embroidery Library. And I'm like, 9 times out of 10, I have the design because I buy so much from them. But that's my number one favorite all time for designs. Another website for designs, let's see. Every blue moon I'll do embroidery. What is the name of that website? Can't think of the name of it. I can see the little butterfly though. And the website is yellow. I'll have to look it up, the other one. But other than that, I do Etsy. I do a different mix, and a lot of it depends upon what I'm looking for at the time. If I'm looking for something specific and I don't see it on Embroidery Library, I'll check out Etsy first. And if I don't see where someone has it on Etsy, then I'll check out, I think it's embroiderydesigns.com is the name of that other website. But they are quite pricey from time to time. So it just depends on what I'm looking for and what the customer wants to spend. Miss Phenomenal Creations is talking about the Cricut Maker. Sin says, I just bought the new Scan and Cut. Whoa, go ahead on you with the upgrade. It cuts everything. That's what's up. That's why I said I'm not sure what all my Cricut can do. I need to find out. It says it can cut cardboard and oh gosh, fabric and all that other stuff, but I haven't done any of that yet. Debbie Kid says, I think my heat press is 80 pounds. Woo, yeah. So in other words, you buy that, you set it somewhere and you leave it, from what I'm understanding. D Hart, hey darling, welcome. Hey Eve, I was wondering if anyone has ever done embroidering for a funeral or a memorial. In this group, there are 27 of us. Has anyone here done embroidering for a funeral or a memorial? I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, especially like the drape that goes over the coffin that the flowers sit on top of. I can definitely see someone doing embroidery for that. or embroidering something to go inside the casket. Memorial, just the same principle. So I don't see why you wouldn't, or if why someone wouldn't, but I'm sure there's, you know, someone here that probably has. Sandra Phillips says, I love the scan and cut too. Use it for applique and many other things. Yeah, that scan and cut, from what I understand, is worth every penny that you spend on it. Big Ham says, I used the heat press and got prints from Transfer Express. You could have your designs screen printed onto sheets, and then you put them onto whatever you want. Economy game sheets fill up your page. That's cool. You're gonna make me look into a heat press, and I was I wasn't trying to look in. You starting stuff, Big Ham. Don't be starting stuff. Don't be starting stuff. I don't need anything else to spend no money on. I'm trying to tell you. Vivian Crosby says, I need a larger work area. I work in a little corner. I'm starting to feel like a little corner around here because I have so much stuff. It's crazy. No, my God. There I go with the crazy jar. Karen's place for sewing alterations. I was trying to send you a picture of me running a 12-head Tajima machine when I worked for a company. My situation is that the designs were uploaded on a disc that we put into the machine. Neat. Oh, yeah, that 12-head, my goodness gracious. I could see all kind of stuff lined up, going all the way down the row. T-shirts, hats, that would be really neat. Now, with your 12-head, was it the kind where each head, they all had to do the exact same thing? There was one point I was considering getting an embroidery machine, and that's what, it was 3 heads, 3 or 4 heads. But he said all of the heads had to do the same thing, and so that's why I backed out from it. But that's really neat. Sharon Blake says, I have a scan and cut too also, and need to learn it too. Y'all gonna make me get... Linda Miller says, an organizer would be perfect for me right now. I know. Oh my gosh. I usually have pretty good... This is weird. This is the weird thing about me. I can go to someone else's space and say, yes, you can do this, you can do that. Oh, this would look good there. You can design this and this go there, and blam, everything is gorgeous. But in my space, I get writer's block, for lack of better words. I get here and I'm like, where am I going to put? I did pretty good though. I'm not going to complain, because when I first started doing in here, it was like, yay, I'm getting it together and this is gonna be cute, and so I did it. But now that it's all done, the thought of redoing it or adjusting is like overwhelming. So no. Let me see. Catherine Keller, I keep hoping that I can get into Embroidery Boss. I'm more of a hobbyist at the moment, but I do have an album what I've embroidered. I hope it's good enough to make the cut in there. If I'm understanding Candia's rules correctly, a hobbyist can get into Embroidery Boss. So when you send in the information to request to be added, you can put in there, you know, that you're a hobbyist, and I'm pretty sure she allows that in there. Sylvia Reyes, embroidery for funeral. You can embroider doves and religious designs. I have done this, so we do have someone who has done them. Barbara Zukas, yes, embroiderydesigns.com. I thought that's what it was. It just took me a minute to come back to me. Eve, bless you. You are God's special being. I love the way you express yourself. Thank you. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm saying the same thing over. But thank you. I appreciate that. This is me. This is who I am. Big Hamp says, Embroidery Library also has, yes, thank you. Embroidery Library also has their Christmas club going right now. Free to sign up, and they have birthday gifts, happy hour flash sales, and so much more. Plus their designs are very reasonable. Yes, they are. The Christmas club is awesome. I used it last year, not really thinking too much about it. And with all of the designs that I bought, I think I wound up getting $30 back at the end of the year. Well, I'm sorry, at the first of the year, to use on whatever I wanted. So that was really cool. So if you are not a member of embroiderylibrary.com, then definitely look into it. because that Christmas club has just started. So you're at the beginning of that, and everything that you buy from now to December the 31st earns you points, and the points translate into store credit. So yes, definitely look into that. Bonnie Edmondson says you could make a memory shirt pillow and embroider on that. Yes, definitely for a memorial for someone. Sandra Phillips says, I have made memorial pillows and blankets for the families at the funeral. That was very nice. I've heard of the pillows, and I've done a blanket. It wasn't quite a memorial blanket, but it was a baby blanket. And it was a baby blanket because the baby's grandmother had passed away. And so they wanted a blanket that the baby could have with the grandmother's picture on it. So I have done that. I forgot about that. Kat says, hi, I had forgot at work. I'm here for a minute. Okay. Hang out, girl. Hang out. Don't get in trouble down there. Bonnie says, for the funeral or memorial, could also do a pillow for inside the casket. Yes, you can. Cameo 3. I have heard of the Cameo 3. That is the rival to the Cricut, if I'm understanding correctly. Caller Chambers, welcome. Welcome to our chat, Miss Chambers. Thank you for joining us today. Since says, benefit of the Scan and Cut 2 is it can wirelessly talk to your embroidery machine and or computer and vice versa. Convenient, especially for applique. Love it. You guys, you know what? In mentioning that, how much, and see, I don't gamble, but how much I want to bet the next upgrade to the Brother machine is going to be wireless. That's what I want. I want to see wireless putting stuff on my embroidery machine. I think that would be cool. I really think that would be cool. So, I mean, how many upgrades can you really do to an embroidery machine? Go wireless, brother. Go wireless. That's what I want to see. Big Camp says, yes, I have done plenty of memorials and funerals, but if you're like me, it's an emotional experience, especially when done for a child. Exactly. And see, I'm not a funeral person. I do not go to funerals. I will not even be at my own funeral. So it's just a little too much for me. So yeah, I don't do funerals either. Linda Miller says, I have used your idea of the pegboard for thread. It worked well, but now I need another one. I'm about to need another one. I just added 5, 10, 15 more peg hooks to mine for thread that I just bought, and I'm still like, oh my god, I need more pegs. So it won't be too much longer. I'm gonna have to expand some kind of way, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I don't have any more wall space to expand my thread. So it's like, oh my god. So yes, the thread can get away from you. It really can. David Kidd says you can buy a 4-head that 2 heads can do one thing and the other 2 can do something else. You can also get a 2-head that work independently, and that's what brother or was it Baby Lock? One of the dealers told me that you can link the 6 needle excuse me, and the 10 needle. So I know that's possible with these machines. David Kidd says, I have a 2-head, but it has to do the same thing. I also have a single needle, so I can do 2 different things at a time. I bet that's convenient, especially if you do work in volume. So yes, I definitely understand that. Sylvia says, my son is making me a table for my Singer Studio S10 embroidering machine with wheels because I love to move my things to be organized. Yeah, but it's cute. Have everything on hand. Yes, that will be convenient when you can have everything right within your workspace, and that's what I aim to do at all times for the most part. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I do not. Brother went wireless last year? No way. Cool, but pricey. Look, that's not wireless. I tried. I checked it. I need to know how they went wireless. I want to see it because I bet that is really cool to see. I bet that's really cool to see. Thank you, Sin. But I did want to show you guys something really neat. I mentioned I opened, oh my gosh, especially when I only have 15 minutes left. Oh, the single needle is wireless. Okay. They need to put it in the multi needle machine. They really do. I opened the live chat by talking about going to the ladies sale that she had for the stuff that her mom was selling. All right, so when I went, she stated that her mom passed away at the age of 84, something along those lines, because she said she would be 86. Yeah, 84. She would be 86 now. And she stated that she would do quilting with memorable things. So she had a relative that wanted a quilt made out of handkerchiefs that lady got from, that relative got from a woman she used to sit for that was 90 something years old. So that was years ago, and then that lady was 90 something. But at any rate, she had this huge box of handkerchiefs, right? Classic handkerchiefs. And I just literally lost it because I love antique and vintage things. And so she was like, go ahead and pick some out. And I'm like, woman, do you not understand? This is like everything. I love like little, but anyway, so she let me pick out some, and I wanted to show some of these to you because I was like, oh my God, how super cute is this, right? And the cool thing is a lot of them have embroidery on them from way back. So it's like, okay, is it hand embroidered? You know, it's just like really neat. This one, let me show you. It's just so light and delicate. I thought that was really pretty because that's my favorite color, the purple with the scalloped edge. And I know y'all didn't come in here to see handkerchiefs, but I just thought it was amazing. I'm not going to take the whole time to show these to you, but look at this one. This one is really neat. Look, there's a lady embroidered on the corner, just like crochet or knitted or something. Look like crochet. Isn't that super cute? It's just so delicate and light, and I just fell in love. And I was like, I have got to show somebody that could appreciate it. Look at this one. It's sheer, and I'm like, how do you, like, you're not going to use this to blow your, it's all for decor, I'm sure, but look at the embroidery on it. It's just so delicate and light, just really pretty. So I don't know if you're into handkerchiefs or not, but she was like, you can make some quilts out of them. And I'm like, lady, I don't quilt. I wish I did, but I love it. Look at this one with the embroidery of the ribbon and the flowers at the bottom. I just thought, is anyone else in here just crazy about handkerchiefs like I am? I don't know. Or is it just me? Am I the only one that likes vintage or antique type things? This is just so pretty. Like she was literally talking about, I could make pillows, something or others. Look, oh my God, I just noticed this one has that design in that corner, and the others have it on each other corner. That's just and she let me have them. I was like, oh my God, you are so sweet. This one has, is this a flower or a butterfly? One of these has a butterfly on it. Oh, this one is the one with the flower. And I have one that the butterfly is like 3D on. Oh my God. I'm like, how did these people carry this kind of stuff? Oh, here it is. Look how cute. That is just the neatest thing. The butterfly is like 3D on the handkerchief. So yeah, I just wanted to share those. I mean, because I'm like, somebody else out there has to love lacy girly things as much as I do. Somebody. And I did get a lot of fabric from her as well. Yeah, they're dainty. That was, oh, just, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna carry these myself. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have something different, some Kleenex for, cleaning up and stuff, but I'll just have to, hold it. It was like, oh my God, I do too much sometimes, but I just thought it was really cute. And Sylvia, yes, time does fly when you enjoy your chats. I always enjoy chatting with you guys. My family thinks I'm crazy because I'm like, no, I have to be there at 7 o'clock. I gotta do my chat. And my husband is like, really? Yes, it's that serious. I love coming in and talking to everyone. It's amazing. And the interaction, I love it. David Kidd said you did 475 patches a couple of years ago for the Navy SEAL Foundation, all for the fallen SEALs. After I was finished, I felt so sad. Talk about depressing. I bet that was depressing. And then Catherine said 100 police fobs. At least those weren't memorial, but I have done cop fobs for fallen officers that about destroyed me. And that's something that a lot of time people take for granted. They don't realize that embroidery, well, I'm not going to say that because I'm sure there are some store owners that are just there for a paycheck. But for me, embroidery is an emotional experience. And I don't turn away, but a lot of customers won't use me for embroidery because they'll say, I want a hat done. Okay, what do you want on the hat? I don't know. I was just thinking about putting a name. Okay, what font do you want? What color do you want? What color hat do you want? And it's like, because I'm asking so many questions and I'm trying to cater it to what that person wants, they're like, you know what, forget it, and they won't call back. And I'm like, I'm sorry. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But my thing is, I want you to love what you're ordering as much as I did in making it, because I know this is what you wanted and this is what is going to make you happy. So, that's my biggest thing and my problem. But the emotional attachment to doing the projects that I do is what I think makes the difference in your embroidery. Because if you really love something, whatever it is, if you love what you're doing, then you'll do better with it. That's a personal opinion, but I've seen it work out that way as factual more than anything, actually. Miss Bonnie says those two machines are so expensive. I'm wondering if I can just get the scan and cut, if that would make me happy and not have to spend money for the dream machine. Miss Bonnie, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get it to do what you want. Big Camp says I got a Juki mid-arm machine in the Grace king size quilting frame, a truck bed of fabric, fat quarters, and so very much more for $300. OMG, what in the world? I'm trying to tell you, some of the best deals are on Craigslist. Some of the best deals, I'm trying to tell you, that is a trip. Miss Phenomenal Creations agrees. That is very nice. Bonnie says I can buy a car for my daughter for what I pay. That's true. That is true. The trade off, Miss Edmondson, is a lot of these machines, the money that they make, which is part of the reason why embroidery costs so much, and quilting costs so much, because the equipment that we use is pricey. It really is. And Catherine and Miss Sylvia, thank you for appreciating my handkerchiefs. I love them. Thank you for letting me share them with you. The Brother 5100 is also wireless to the scan and cut. You can score a deal. You're looking at about 5,100 to 5,300. Wow. Patches, embroidery, and designs. I love handkerchiefs. I give them as birthday gifts with their initials on them. That is an awesome gift, isn't it? I love them. It just makes you feel ladylike. I don't know. Maybe that's the old school coming out where you used to wear gloves and everything. And when I did my tea towel video and I had the hat on, I wanted my gloves too, but I couldn't find them. Otherwise, I would have had gloves on too. Bonnie Edmondson says, Miss Scent, that may work much more in my budget. I would love the Dream Machine, but the cost just throws me. Do you have the Dream Machine? That Dream Machine can be quite pricey, but check on Craigslist. You can find a deal. Brother PE770 is just simple USB. Yes, the 770 is nice. I started to get one. Matter of fact, I requested to get one. I saw one on Craigslist. They were offering it along with thread, embroidery thread, a whole pack for $400. I started to get it, but someone beat me to it, which is a good thing. I really didn't need to buy it. Miss Social Deb says, patches, that is such a cool idea. I would love it if someone gave me an embroidered hanky. I may just do that. Perfect gift for the person who has everything. Yes, it is. Because, and it's an unexpected gift. Who gives hankies now? Because people are just not into the dainty anymore. I don't understand. But I am. I love it. Kat says, I'm gonna exit chat. I had to, oh my gosh. Oh no. I hate I'm gonna miss you, Miss Kat. If you watch the replay, I am so very sorry to hear about your loss. Especially being 23 years old. That's entirely too young to have to deal with a loss like that. That's when they're cut in the prime, that is even more devastating, the young people. Miss Sent told her that you can save $1,000 if you get the same model, but embroidery only with that particular machine. In Walmart, there's a special with the PE770. If you order it, it's around $700. It is. That's the going rate. I think it's a little bit cheaper on Amazon, actually. Miss Social Deb, do people think you can just whip up these projects? I had someone ask me to make a special key fob. Said you could do it in 5 minutes. And I'd be like, no, I can't do it in 5 minutes. But if you would like for me to take the time that I'm going to take to do it, then I'll do it for you. Patches says, thanks, Miss Social Deb. Sheila Cushionberry, hey love, welcome. Thank you for joining our chat. She says, I finally made it. Yes, ma'am, you most certainly did. Linda Brown says, what was the name of the She Shack? The She Shack did not have a name. There are different sizes that you can get. I just pretty much look at the shed, unless somebody else had said the last time that there was a specific name, but the She Shack basically is just a shed that goes in the backyard. But I would look at the wooden ones, not the aluminum ones, because the aluminum ones, especially in an area where it's hot, you will die and suffocate out there in that heat. It won't dissipate the heat very well, whereas the wood breathes, and it won't be as bad in there or pull in so much heat, because the wood is thicker than the aluminum and can act as an insulator. So any type of, if you see the sheds on the side, well, in Charlotte they sell them in places on the side of the road sometimes, and then sometimes they're at Lowe's, so they're easy to get. Bonnie Edmondson says the Brother Pace Setter, which is really close to the Dream Maker. It does 12 by 12, and yes, it is old, but it works great. And you also have the Innovus 950D. Miss Bonnie, you have some wonderful machines. So one thing's for certain, you can do quite a bit with that 12 by 12 hoop, most definitely. Debbie Kidd said, I got my single head off Craigslist, but it was $7,000. Yes. Some of them are quite costly, even used, especially if it's a industrial version. The industrial ones are very pricey, actually. Miss Bonnie says, you also have a Janome MC990, so I am thinking of getting the scan and cut and moving on. I know, that's why I'm like, Miss Bonnie, you have quite a bit there, so don't beat yourself up too bad looking at all the other options that are out there. You know, I was just completely fortunate and blessed to be able to get the 6 needle. Otherwise I was still operating off my 4x4 machines and getting quite a bit done, especially with the repositional hoop as an option. And at one point, and still will if the timing and the price is right, a 770, which is 5x7. But you have the Dream Maker, well, not the Dream Maker, but it does a 12x12. That's really good. That's what a lot of people that watch my YouTube channels, they wish they had bigger than the 4x4. But my point in the channel is trying to let them see you can do bigger than that. There's a lot of projects out there that get you what you need in that 4x4 space, and if we can't get it in the 4x4 space, we'll try and get it in with the repositional hoop if need be. So yes ma'am, started with a 4x4 PE 150, Miss Debbie Kidd. I'm trying to tell you, thank you. I sometimes I don't think I deserved it, but I did receive it, and I do receive it. But definitely love my machine. Bonnie Edmondson says, I was also lucky enough to get a Viking mid-arm off Facebook for $500, and I just got the Baby Lock Evolution Serger, so I don't really need a machine. Baby Lock Evolution Serger, that sounds nice. And that's, I don't use a serger. Well, I have a serger, but I don't use it. And then someone was telling me they got sergers now that thread themselves. What the world? Where have I been? Under a rock somewhere? I didn't know they they had that. Miss Scent says, by the way, Eve, totally loved your repositional hoop demo. Terrific. Thank you. Thanks. I have one that's 5x12 for your PE 770. Yes ma'am. And it works the exact same way for the 770 as it does for the 4x4 machines. So yes, you will have a lot of fun with that. Miss Tracy Etheridge says, I'm late. You might be a little bit late, Miss Etheridge, but thank you very much for joining us today, because we will be shutting down here shortly. Laura David says, I've been in school with you for a week, like 4 to 5 hours a day, watching and rewatching, experimenting with my machine and Sew What Pro. Awesome! You will get so much done with that Sew What Pro. We're definitely going to get more information out on Sew What Pro, more videos that is, and so we definitely that's part of the reason why I did incorporate Sew What Pro in the tea towel tutorial, because I wasn't going to. I was just going to demonstrate doing the tea towel on the machine with the repositional hoop, but then I was like, you know, I haven't done a Sew What Pro tutorial in a while, and you really should see how to set up a repositional design with the repositional hoop. So why not go ahead and use Sew What Pro? And so that's why I did that, even though it made the video 30 minutes and that's not what I wanted, but it takes time to go through the steps and make sure that I don't miss anything. Mary Brooks, and thank you, I'm sorry, by the way, Miss Laura David, for watching the videos. If there's anything that you feel like I may have missed or you have more questions, please email me and let me know. Miss Mary Brooks says, you have the Baby Lock Spirit now, but started out with the 750. And Laura David says, thank you for explaining things in a way that us hands-on learners can actually follow along. You're quite welcome. That is my goal, to make sure that everyone can understand. My Baby Lock threads itself, I love it. Must be nice. Ethel Smith says, good evening all. Good evening to you, Miss Ethel. Big Hemp says, I made a set of monogram hankies for the pastor and first lady. These are quick and make wonderful Christmas gifts. A single letter can make great pickup gifts. Yes, they can. Bonnie Edmondson says, I want Sew What Pro too. Miss Scent says, I'm so grateful you included Sew What Pro. Best explaining I've seen, and I've seen a bunch. Laughing out loud. Well, I am happy that it is helpful. That's the whole point. I don't want anyone frustrated while using it, especially now that I have become an authorized reseller of it. It is available on my website if you would like. It's at thebabiesbooty.com. I will put a link down in the description below if I have not already. It is now 8:03. I am over my limit, so I'm going to go ahead and close out for the day. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will make sure that this video is relisted for replay if you need to or have missed out on anything. Thank you for joining in with this chat in regards to adding services to your embroidery business, what you would like to do, or what you're considering adding. I appreciate the input and the discussion. We do have a newsletter. If you would like to join in with the newsletter to be aware of all of the awesome happening things with the Baby's Booty before anybody else, sign up for the newsletter. Also, I have a Google Plus group that you can sign up for. That is in the link below as well. As always, we definitely love having you here for our live chat. I look forward to seeing you again. Today is Thursday. We have another live chat on Sundays at 7 p.m. and I look forward to seeing each one of you guys there as well. I love having you all here. So, as we always want for everyone when it comes to doing our embroidery, happy embroidering. Look forward to seeing you Sunday evening. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night.